First off, for Legio Lemmus Lepidoptera, we have the Fluffy Moth Magnate, right side Banshee Gatling Hwacha, left side Minotaur Artemis Banshee. Their ally is the Totally Not Scroll alt, which has left side Minotaur Dual Artemis, right side Gatling Banshee Hwacha. Their opponents, Skyborne Rangers, we have the Strom Sunder Gatling Hwacha Banshee Light Flak Stormbreaker, paired with the Golden Falcon. Trike, Gatling Heavy Carronade on the left, Gatling Hwacha on the right. Red team opting to go for duplicate magnates here, left side long range, right side close range, while blue team Skyborne Rangers sticking to their very high velocity, high damage, high disruption comp that we saw them bring in the previous game against Glowwater Thralls. And already we have spots going down on both teams. A little bit of long range fire coming out from red. Dual Minotaur is going to be pretty annoying for blue team for their initiation of this fight. See them popping a lot of engine tools here, try to keep a forward trajectory, trying to negate the knockback effect of the Minotaur. But Golden Falcon has managed to move in to the close range side of the magnates, while Strom Sunder moving in from the opposite side. Split attack here. Looks like Fluffy Moth going to be the target. Watch aside from the Golden Falcon. Watch it coming out. Close range side of the Fluffy Moth has been taken down. Totally Not Scroll alt. Their Watch is up, moving in, taking out left side the Golden Falcon now. Strom Sunder trying to find their way back into the fight. Seems like target's going to be the Totally Not Scroll alt. And we see another solid Hwacha connection. And I would like to start seeing Golden Falcon's Heavy Carronade come into effect. These Hwachas are armor break first of the fight on the Scroll. These Hwacha barrages are just going to go back and forth, pretty much indefinitely, while Heavy Carronade will cement blue team's dominance in the fight. Because once you start, like, guns can be rebuilt, positioning is much harder to get back. So if you start knocking down the balloon with a Heavy Carronade, start taking away your opponent's verticality, that takes a much longer time to recover. So I would like to see Golden Falcon making a little bit heavier utilization of that Heavy Carronade. We see finally Fluffy Moth's balloon going down. And potentially a fast kill here as Fluffy Moth's going to land on this pipe. Golden Falcon not necessarily in position to capitalize, but they do get a nice Hwacha connection on exposed hull. 80% damage onto the red magnate in the one slot, and the Skrull ult as well has been losing their 1v1, and next armor break going to be a second point for blue team. Also, let me know if you're getting some low frame rate on the stream here. I'm seeing some high CPU utilization, higher than normal, and it is a new patch that just came out, so it's possible there is a performance difference between this and last patch. So do let me know if it's affecting the stream quality at all. Now, Skyborne Rangers cleaning up that fight pretty easily. Neither ship taking too much damage. Strom's under about 40% perma-hull. Magnate's not really getting a whole lot of utility. It seemed like they got early spots on the blue team, but they were not getting a lot of utility out of their long-range guns. The Minotaur and the Artemis just not doing a whole lot. And that seems like that's going to be the primary advantage. Red team, the Magnates, what they lack in mobility, because Skyborne Rangers here, they have the highest mobility ships in the game, between the Shrek and the Stormbreaker. So Magnates are not going to win a mobility fight. They're not going to win a positioning fight. What they need is the versatility of their guns. Having a long range side and a close range side, they need to be able to do some damage as blues charging in. That's really their their only point of leverage here for Legio Lemmus. And we did not see that in the previous fight. And now here we go again. Early spot on the Fluffy Moth. Hopefully the Golden Falcon gets spotted by red team as well. And we start getting some Artemis shots, start getting some Minotaur shots, maybe a medium to long range armor break. Just to stack on a little bit damage and not give Skyborne Rangers a free initiation, which is what happened last time. The Golden Falcon is spotted, but they're already in close range. They're already below the Fluffy Moth, and they're rising up on their long-range side. Heavy carronade shots going in. Fluffy Moth's balloon is down. Strom Sunder lagging a little bit behind. Stormbreaker's forward acceleration did get reduced a little bit, and also the forward charging speed, I believe. So the ship is a little bit slower at charging across the map than it had been previously. Armor's down on the Strom Sunder. Totally not scroll alt, making good utilization of the Minotaurs. And that's what I'm talking about now. Strom Sunder, the Golden Falcon made it in safe, but the Blue Stormbreaker did not. And because they lost their armor there, took a little bit of permanent damage, you saw Stormbreaker had to disengage, and that is the value in having those ships with split sides. You do not want to let your opponent initiate for free. But now both blue ships are in. Hwacha coming out, disabling the close range side of the Fluffy Moth. Hwacha from the Skro. Looks like Hwacha coming from the Golden Falcon, taking out long range side of the Totally Not Scroll ult. And now Strom Sunder getting an armor break on the Fluffy Moth. One light flak hit coming in, but it seems like they want to switch focus to the Totally Not Scroll ult for a dual team. Dual combination fire from the Skyborne Rangers. Armor is down. Hwacha coming out. 60% permanent damage on the Totally Not Scroll ult as Fluffy Moth moves in to push the Blue Shrike away. Now, armor is back up. Hwacha does come out. Scroll ult almost completely disabled, but they do still have armor, so they're not dying just yet. We'll see where Golden Falcon decides to put their focus. Left side seem going to be on the Fluffy Moth. Going to try to disable, well, Hwacha going out onto the Skrull ult. Skyborne Rangers having a little bit of difficulty picking up kills as we get a huge disable from the Fluffy Moth. Golden Falcon has no components. They've no armor as well. Banshee coming out, 60% permahull on the Blue Shrike. But they're rising up. They got one heavy carronade shot into Fluffy Moth, and Fluffy Moth, using hydrogen, almost burned out their balloon there. That would have been very bad. But as it stands now, Fluffy Moth's balloon, because it has such a low health, and they're at such a low altitude, it's going to take them a long time to rejoin this fight. So if Blue wants to try to capitalize, this would be a good chance to do it before the Fluffy Moth is able to re-engage fully. We see Gatling coming out on the Skrull ult. Balloon is down. Armor's at about 20%. Fluffy Moth losing their balloon as well. I think going down to the Banshee of the Strom Sunder. And rather than dual focus, we're seeing these 1v1 fights. Blue team, it seems, confident that they're able to win the duel just with the superior mobility of their ship selection versus the Magnate. But each of these Hwacha connections represents an opportunity for Red to get a kill, and they do there. Golden Falcon choosing now to disengage. The fast ships are very strong. They have a lot of... since we've started seeing the migration of the Alliance content, the new Alliance ships to PvP, we've seen the introduction of a lot of very fast mobile ships that have access to heavy weapons. So they're fast ships, a lot of damage potential, a lot of disable potential. But the one weakness is that they are squishy, and if you're playing against an enemy Hwachas on both ships, on both enemy ships, each time they get that, if the opponents manage to land a single good Hwacha connection onto one of these fast mobile ships, they're basically dead in the air. So the longer the fights go on, the longer Skyborne Rangers go without of being able to get a kill, the more risk they're at. And now Stromsunder has moved in from the fight. They're finally able to pick up the kill on the Fluffy Moth. Heavily damaged from the last fight. Skro is as well. As we see Gatling coming out. And this is a straight 2v1. So I suspect the Magnate will not be able to survive. Watch it coming out. Just barely able to finish them off before the armor break. Not needing Golden Falcon to pick up with subsequent explosive damage. Now, red team does have a spawn right here, which they're electing not to use. Spawning instead, east side of the map. Let's see how well they do. Let's see how well they do with the sniping lane this time. They know where blue team is. And they should, depending on the positioning of red, they should be able to get some early spots because there are not a lot of clouds on this side of the map. You see them moving kind of through the center, and then over here it's all open air. So early spots coming down on blue. Watch it coming out. A lot of it going into the balloon of the Golden Falcon, not doing much damage. Stromsunder, again, lagging behind a bit as the Golden Falcon has properly engaged both the red Magnates. Instead, just charging through, getting to rear. Magnates just are unable to keep up. And it seems like we might be seeing... Well, let's see what blue team decides to do. As both red ships are currently stuck on their Minotaur sides. Watch it coming out. Disabling dual Artemis of the Skro. Fluffy Moth, watch it coming out in the Stormbreaker. A lot of that missing. Blue Stormbreaker doing a good job dodging. It's only 2 guns on the Stromsunder. No engines going down. Golden Falcon rejoining the fight. Watch it coming out. Hitting the Fluffy Moth. 1 heavy carronade shot. Going to Skrull's balloon. Yeah, interesting. It seemed like for a moment they're both heavy weapons on the Golden Falcon were actually firing simultaneously. And here's a balloon disable on the Fluffy Moth. Seems like blue team's strategy is just to split the Magnates up and go for the 1v1s. They seem, between this fight and the previous fights, not interested in taking up any sort of dual focus. And perhaps the right decision is Golden Falcon, big Hwacha barrage, taking a huge chunk of health out of the Fluffy Moth. Balloon is down as well. Skro ult, able to get a Hwacha barrage on the Golden Falcon as well to force him away before the Fluffy Moth dies. So we have an opportunity for the red Magnate in the 1 slot to rebuild. And they need to be careful here not to hit the pipe. They bump up a little bit. Watch it. The bumping up from the pipe knocks off the Hwacha barrage, so most of it misses the Golden Falcon, as Skrull ult has been losing the 1v1 with the Stromsunder as well. Unarmed light flax being enough to finish off the Fluffy Moth at the end. And Skyborne Rangers winning that fight 5-1.